Hello interwebs, how are we doing? My name is May and you're watching The Mayflower. We are doing a tarot reading today. Yes, we're gonna do what is the purpose, or what was the purpose of this connection. And I was really inspired by this. I was watching a love reading the other day on YouTube and someone asked for it in the comments of one of that person's readings, and I was like, wow, that is like really powerful, and I feel like really on like par with what my readings are like. My readings are very based on healing, so I really want to look at what was the purpose of your connection. What was the purpose of the cycle that you just went through with whoever it was or whatever it was. I am going to say was, but this could be is, so you could currently be going through the situation. You know, time's not linear, so you know, if it resonates, take it. Yeah, so if you want a personal reading with me, you can. Link is in the description box below for my email. Just send me an email and we can talk about setting up a reading for you, my friend. So I'm sending you so much love and I'll see you at your reading. Bye! Hello, group one. This is for everyone who chose this stone right here. Very beautiful. Lots of like pink and green going on. So there might be a lot of love in your life. There might be, I'm just getting with the green and the pink. I think of both of these as love. Like this is like the heart chakra and pink is like my, you know, heart love kind of thing. So I don't know if love has just been like a theme in your life. I'm feeling like there's kind of this gap though with this white right here. Like it's almost like maybe your heart chakra and heart aren't connected, or your heart and mind. I don't know, we'll get into it, we'll see. I'm like, I don't know if this is relevant, we'll see. I felt really called just to go into the Starseed Oracle right off the bat. Usually I like to get tarot and see where people are at. That's just not what I was feeling for your group. I feel like I was just called, let's just get straight into it. So why did you go through, what was the purpose of you meeting this person? What was the purpose of this connection? I'm getting for some of you, like you're just wondering why you met them. Why did group one go through this connection? What was the purpose of this connection with group one? Wait, it's not your time yet. Things are still being woven. Group one, what did you go through? I'm seeing here with this universe that you might have made someone your universe. You might have really paid attention to them, and I think that you almost like sacrifice yourself in this circumstance. I'm almost getting, I don't actually know if you dated this person, group number one. I'm getting this as kind of like you might have just like saw someone and then like daydreamed about them and like that was it. Like you were like, this is all in my head. I don't know if that's really what happened. I'm almost getting with this wait card that you were almost supposed to wait for something to happen, and instead it was almost like, I don't want to wait, I just want to like start on something. But it almost feels like you tried to force something to happen that just wasn't going to happen. It's almost like I'm getting for some of you that you were into someone who was not into you, and you tried to force them to like you in a way. Or maybe not force them to like you, but you like went to where they worked and like started flirting with them, and you kind of knew they didn't like you. I'm not really getting for all of you that you like told this person. Everyone was very honest in this situation. I think like you just kind of knew someone didn't like you and you were like, I'm just going for it anyway. That's what's coming through. So earthed, which is learning how to be human in the world, in it, not of it. Interesting, pile number one, interesting. I almost feel like you feel like your life might be mundane and lifeless, and you're kind of trying to go towards something that feels better to you, and I think that's really at the heart. Oh my god, there's an ad happening, and it's because I'm playing music. I was like, what the heck is happening right now? I think that you're just trying to search for something that feels better to you, and I almost feel like Part number one, I think you're just supposed to know that you're supposed to wait. I think you know that you're supposed to go through the process of life, and I don't think that's what you want to do. I'm just getting a lot of impatient energy. I'm not judging you for it. It's just what's coming through is It's like you're kind of trying to go towards, with both of these cards, you're trying to go towards something that feels better to you, you know? You're in both of these cards, where you're at and what's else happening in the card doesn't even seem like the main focus. It's like, let's go towards the universe. Let's go towards the ground. I'm trying to get there. I'm moving from up here to down there. I'm moving from me to this person. And it just kind of feels like the lesson you were supposed to learn in this, it's almost like I hesitate to say this. It's almost like you weren't even supposed to go through this. It's like okay, not that you weren't supposed to go through it, but what I'm feeling is that you could have avoided it. What I'm feeling is that you might have gotten some sort of information, some sort of confirmation, whether or not it was from your intuition, the 3D, your friends, your family, another tarot reader, whatever it is, that you were just supposed to wait, and like this situation wasn't going to work out, and you were like, whatever. I want this right now. For some of you, is to get your needs met sexually. For some of you, is to get your needs met emotionally. That's what I'm feeling. This is a general reading on YouTube, so it's gonna be different for everyone, but that's what's coming through, is that it's like you're trying to go somewhere that is more exciting to your reality right now. It almost seems like it all just happens outside of you. So messenger, serious energy, I hope that's how you say it, bringing harmony and balance. So this is supposed to make you get closer to yourself, pound number ones. The purpose of this connection was actually all about you. Not all about you, obviously there's another human being, but like, the purpose of this connection was to get you to grow closer to yourself, because your 3D reality was not supposed to reflect another person's love for you. Your lesson right now is to try to reflect that love for yourself. Your lesson right now is to try to bring yourself into harmony, bring the different parts of yourself that you may be looking for in a relationship into balance. And that is kind of why this happened. I'm really getting some masculine energy here, so like I think that you may be trying to manifest love into your life, maybe trying to manifest, but this feels kind of seductive, pal number ones. This feels like you are trying to get it in a way that is not like, this doesn't feel to me like you are trusting the universe. This feels to me like I'm going to seduce you know, this boy, and then I'm gonna have sex with them. It's gonna feel really good. This doesn't to me feel like I'm gonna be patient and wait and let the universe bring me what I know is in my highest and greatest good. There's something here, there's a lot of space in your reading, a lot of zooming out, and I think that when you think about the perspective here, you might be feeling like whatever this I'm getting, okay. Take it as it resonates. I'm gonna use genders. I'm gonna use gender terms. I'm like, you fit it to how situation, okay? What I'm getting kind of here is there might have been a girl and going after a boy, and the boy or the girl's trying to be seductive. Okay. And in the reality of your whole life, and in the reality of how this boy makes you feel, it's literally like this. Like this was like this almost feels like it was small. Power number ones. Feels like it was kind of small. And I feel like you might be feeling like this is the biggest thing in the world, that this person didn't like you back. And I think if you zoomed out, I think you might see, like in the grand scheme of your life and all the different parts in your life, this is how you might see it. Oh, this boy was actually a little bit of it. And this is, again, I think the push that spirit is trying to get to you is that, you know, you don't have to make someone else your world. This is the heart you're reading. You don't have to make someone else your world. You can be your world. In the grand scheme of things, this is all this is. So I'm getting pile number ones to go to a different oracle deck. What was the purpose of this connection? Why did pile number one go through this connection? What was the purpose of this connection for pile number one? Potential, think big for your future. It was to kind of force you to, again, think about, like, it almost feels like to me, like, who this person was and what, you know, you experienced with them was not even what you really wanted in terms of a partner, in terms of a connection. To me, it just feels like you were, again, just kind of doing it to do it, and you weren't thinking, like, how can this add so much to my life? Like, how can having a partner make me feel good, and how can I help them feel good? You know, I don't know if that's always the perspective that you have in relationships. This feels almost like what you can get from relationships and not what you can do for someone else. You know, it doesn't feel as if you always consider your partner's thoughts and feelings and actions. And if you were trying to seduce a person that didn't like you, you know, I can kind of see how that relates, pal number one. This, again, I think Spirit is trying to say you can have better than whatever this person was. You know, you can have better than whatever situation you just had. That was the purpose, to make you think about something better, something bigger. What was the purpose of this connection that pal number one went through? What was the purpose of them going through it? Well, it flew. New beginnings. Begin your new life. It was I'm feeling for you, pal number ones, that you are actually going through a time in your life right now where you're shifting. You're going into a new paradigm, and I think this was a test. I think that you've learned a lot, you've grown a lot. You know, I think you've learned things from the past that, you know, you're unlearning them. And I think that this was kind of like the tail end of a cycle that you've been going through with people. Or perhaps you've been into people who are not into you. Perhaps you have tried very hard for relationships or people ignore you. Or it just wasn't fitting right. And you tried really, really hard to make it fit. You know, I think your relationships might have been very surface level before. And I think you wanted more than that. And you're trying to force more. And I think you're at the tail end of that cycle. Group number one. I think you're at the tail end of it. And this situation you just went through was kind of like the last test. And now I feel like you're pushed into this new beginning. You're pushed into this new cycle. That's what Spirit was trying to do, was push you into a new cycle. I'm getting like Phoenix Reborn kind of energy from this with the fire. It was like, we have to let it burn. We have to let this thought process, this action burn. And you had to go through it in a way that might have been more intense than before. You know, where someone really didn't like you. That's really what I'm getting, is that you tried really hard to have someone like you and it just didn't work. And it was never going to work because it wasn't meant to be. Even if you were a good match, I feel like Spirit was going to block it because they were like, this is not in your highest and greatest good, nor is it in theirs. And you deserve better. Not to, like, you know, say shit about the other person. It's just like, that just wasn't meant to be. Yes, rise above tribulations and take a leap of faith. And self-reliance. Okay. I mean, yes, self-reliance for sure. You know, how do you gain this love and compassion? And I'm getting sparks with this. I mean, look, this is like, yeah, this is really like radiating energy from the self, and it like so much love and compassion that it's just like coming out. And I think that you're trying to get something from relationships, pal number one, that you could be giving to yourself. That, you know, it's almost like I feel like you're trying to, I'm getting the male gaze, so the male gaze might be something here that might be a factor. I'm getting that you're trying to feel something and gain something from a relationship, whether it's like compassion, understanding, love, sex, whatever it is. It's like you're trying to get this from someone else, and it almost feels like that's like the only way that you could probably, I think that, I don't know if this is like conscious, but you believe that that's the only way you can get it. It's like, I can only have great sex when I have something in me, when I have someone else there. I can only feel like I deserve love. I can only feel like I can be compassionate toward myself when someone else is telling it to me. And, you know, I think Spirit is trying to push you more to do that with yourself, to rely on yourself more with that. So with Dove, I think again, like this new way of being is not easy for you, pal number ones. I think this is very foreign to you. I think this is different for you. And you're kind of being, you know, pushed to take that leap of faith. You're being pushed to kind of go into this new way of being, you know. I mean, again, with this, like having so much energy that you just like radiate it out, and like, you know, you create. It's like you hold the world in your hands. Like, again, with the world, you're holding it in your hands. And the love naturally comes because you are love and because it is already in your world. You know, I'm kind of seeing this. I don't know if this is the dub, but that's how I'm seeing it, pal number ones, is that the love comes to you, because look, this is smaller than you, right? This is you, and this is your love in the world. This is not supposed to be the center of your universe. You are. So that is what this is pushing you to do. Oof, look, again with this space, pile number 1. And, you know, I think Spirit's also trying to kind of show you, like, how to kind of step over the things that are not good for you. When you have people in front of you that are like, maybe I'm not supposed to go towards that one. Let's skip to the next. Like, I think that might be very hard for you, because I think, again, you're trying to search for that thing, whatever that thing is that you feel like you need. You're trying to search for that in other people, and Spirit is, like, trying to push you to a point where you're like, I don't even need someone else to do that. I can already tell this isn't going to work out. Let's just go. Yes, and to rise above it. I mean, again, pile number 1, this person just has so many colors on them. Like, that's just what you're being called to do, is to put the color into your own life. Let's get some tarot, and I think that's going to be the end of your reading. Oh my gosh, smaller readings. What the heck? Okay. Do you have any parting messages for pile number 1? Why did they go through this connection? Why did they go through what they just went through? Yes. Oh my gosh. It was to end this feeling of injustice that keeps happening to you in relationships. And you feel like it's an injustice because this person isn't giving you what you want. And the thing is that maybe they can't. Maybe the relationships that you've been in, they literally have not been able to give you what you need because you're just being pushed to do it towards yourself. So you keep feeling like you're getting in cycles where, you know, this is an injustice happening to you. And I feel like what's really happening is that you're doing an injustice to yourself. This isn't about other people. This is, you know, you're choosing someone. We can't control people's actions, pile number 1. And you're choosing connections where people cannot give you what you need. And Spirit's kind of trying to push you towards, you know, how can you A, give that to yourself, and then B, choose people where they can give you what you need. I don't know if you have the lens yet where you are able to decipher, this person, it fits me well. Whereas right now it kind of seems like, oh, they like me, or they're paying attention to me, they give me what I need, okay, come here. That's kind of what it feels like, pile number 1. With the 9 of Swords in reverse, it's letting go of this constant cycle of feeling like you're not enough, feeling like relationships are unsatisfying to you. I think relationships will feel more satisfying to you when you are satisfied within yourself more. And I'm not saying for me, I think. This is like what's me channeling. This isn't my thought process, just to let you know. I'm just channeling. Although I do believe that, but I'm letting you know. Where it's kind of like you're letting go of this constant grief and sadness around relationships. That was the purpose of this, is to push you more towards fulfilling connections that will give you what you need, because you already are giving yourself what you need too. It's like then the other person can add even more. It's like maybe it's still hard for you to give your, like if it's compassion, like being compassionate towards yourself, maybe it's still hard for you to be compassionate towards yourself when you get into your next relationship. And you are able to do that somewhat, and that person kind of just sprinkles on some more. It's like, yeah, thank you for being compassionate towards me. You know, I've been trying to practice it all day and it's been really hard, so thank you, my lovely person. Instead of needing them to do that for you, like do that step for you and to feel gratified from it and to feel fulfilled from it. With the 6 of Pentacles upright, it's again like not being a slave to, you know, because someone could have really taken advantage of you, pile number 1, in the past. You could have been in a connection where this person or a person like really like used this against you. And I think that Spirit is just trying to push you to take your own power back and to reject connections where you are a slave to how much they do X, Y, and Z for you in order to feel good. It's like, I feel good and I don't even need you. Yo, powerful shit, pile number 1. Any closing messages for pile number 1, Spirit? The Moon in reverse. The more you don't do this inner work, pile number 1, I think the more that you are going to go through this cycle. I think if you kind of refuse to see this inner world of yours that can be quite powerful, and to again see it above you and inside someone else, it's not going to manifest for you the way that you want it to. And this is hard, pile number 1s. You know, I'm not going to BS you right now and tell you this is easy. what I can tell you is that it's worth it, and that I've definitely been on this path as well and continue to be on that path of finding fulfillment within myself rather than other people. Why did Pound Number 1 go through this? You've just been like, yeah, you've just been in connections where people give you darkness. You've been in connections where people swoop in. I'm really getting that you might have been in a connection that was very charming, but also very dark. Like that person was very charismatic, but then they didn't really treat you right. And they kept you around and you stayed with them because you were like, this is charismatic, I'm getting some of my needs met. And in reality, you weren't really getting. This is very different energy, this Knight of Pentacles. Spirit is trying to get you more towards this, where this person helps you tame this darkness. That's very stable, that's very grounded, very loving. This is based in ego, Pile Number 1s. And this is based in love. Like, this person's connected with spirit, and this person is ego. This person feels like gives you what you want, but is actually just using you to get what they want. It's like you're in connections where both of you guys are using each other, rather than this love and abundance and supporting one another. And finally, with the 9 of Cups here, you're being called, Pile Number 1s, to end these cycles where people are using and abusing you, and you're just kind of let it happen. I actually feel like you kind of know sometimes when people are taking advantage of you, and you're like, well, it feels kind of good, so I'm going to stay in anyway. I'm getting cheating energy here. Like, I'm just getting some toxic patterns, Pile Number 1. And I'm not, like, you know, judging you for this. This is just what's coming through. You know, you might just have traits of this. I mean, it's general reading on YouTube, so just take what resonates. But yeah, that's what I have for you, Pile Number 1. The invitation is here for you. I think you could have very fulfilling relationships, that you could have a lot of fulfillment in life. I think it is just going to take some inner work for you to get there. And I recognize how hard that is. So I'm sending you so much courage, you to be vulnerable and love on your journey. Thank you so much for being here for this reading today. If you want a personal reading to dive into these energies deeper, feel free to check out my email below. I'll never solicit you for a reading. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like. I really, really, really appreciate it. And subscribe for more tarot readings. All right, my friends, I'm sending you so much love. Bye! Hello, everyone. This is for everyone who chose this beautiful green stone right here. Oh my gosh, I used to know what all my stone names were. I don't anymore. This feels very grounding to me though. It's green, take a word for it. Actually, maybe it's not. Maybe it is black. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to like see later, but it's kind of dark in this room. Haha, Pile Number 2. It looks like it could be, it's black green. We're gonna go black green, okay? Okay, I'm glad we figured it out. Let's get let's get to your reading now. So what are we looking at today? If you skip the intro, we are looking at what was the purpose of your connection. And I usually like to get tarot to see where you are, but I just felt so called today to go straight into the Starseed Oracle. So let's do it. Where is Pile Number 2? What was the purpose of Pile Number 2's connection? The golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. Pile Number 2. What the heck are you going through? This feels so powerful. Whoa. There's some big activation happening right now. I feel like this is the purpose of your last connection was to help you shift realities into like love, into being. Oh my god, Pile Number 2s. I'm just getting such a big shift in my mind right now and in my body. I feel like you are legitimately leveling up. Like you are, if we're gonna, you know, this isn't really how things work in my opinion, but if we're gonna like put on a thermometer like low vibration to high vibration, you were here and now you're like here. Like you're literally like leveling up. Like you are just going into a new reality right now. You're stepping into that portal, and I feel like you're looking behind you. You know, you're putting your past behind you basically. I think the path that you've walked on has been kind of alone at times. I think the path that you've walked on has been, you know, just like you're alone in a desert. And I think right now you're stepping into a new reality where you are going to be leaving this behind. You're seeing it right right in front of you, and you're like, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, I feel so ready to step into something new. And that was what your last connection was to help support you with, was to help you step into that portal. What was the purpose of pile number 1's last connection, last relationship? Weight of the world. Boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. So you might have been, you know, carrying other people's weight. You might have been carrying other people's baggage, or just holding on to connections that were just no longer serving you. And I'm really feeling for you, pile number 2, is that you're just letting it go. Like, I'm really not feeling like a heavy burden on me, a heavy burden on my chest. You might have in the past, and I feel like where you're at right now in this current moment in time is you're like, I'm just not doing it anymore. My head's above water, and I'm just gonna let my whole body go to the surface. And, you know, I'm not gonna be deep underwater seeing the sadness. I'm gonna embrace the life and embrace what this reality has to offer me. This is so powerful, pile number 2s. It's almost like, if you see here with this card, it's like you're stepping into a new reality, and it's almost like your head's now above water. It's like you step into this portal, and now you're here, and it's only gonna go up from here for you. This is so powerful. I'm just like in awe of you, pile number 2. What was the purpose of pile number 2's last connection? I'm feeling to get 2 more cards. So your life is a canvas, artist manifestation, and creative accountability. So I think, again, this all was to kind of show you how to create and manifest into your reality. I'm really getting a focus off of someone else and onto you. Not in terms of, like, I don't think that your past connections were, I mean, it could have been in a way trying to get something from it. So pile number 1 was all about, like, getting something transactional. I feel like yours was like you were just going for connections that felt lower vibrational than you for some reason. I think that you were in connections that were just burdensome, that were heavy, where you had to carry a lot, where you had to initiate a lot, where you had to hold other person's pain because they couldn't hold it from themselves. And now you're free to just kind of do whatever you want, and you're like, I don't want to give that up ever. Like, for no relationship are they going to be my 100% of my life. This burden that they face, I'm not going to hold it for them anymore. And pile number 2, I think this is something you're kind of learning right now, nor should you. Like, you don't have to hold it. That's the other person's to carry. There's a difference between holding someone's pain and being there to hold their hand through it. And I think right now you're kind of going into a place where you're holding on to your own life and focusing on your own life. And, you know, if you have relationships and problems where, you know, people are facing some darkness, you're holding their hand and you're not holding all the burden for them anymore. My cat's just like walking around here. She's such a cutie pie. Hi, cutie pie. Hi, baby girl. I think she wants attention. Might be dinner time soon for you too. Stop trying to sit on my cards. I literally had to move all of my cards because she was trying to sit on them, and now she's trying to sit on them again. You can't sit on my cards. I'm sorry. I know it's the barrier to your affection is this tarot reading right now. I will give you affection after, okay? I love you. I know she doesn't understand. So trust the timing. Interesting about this. Again with this, like, alone. Look at this. It's almost like you're seeing the barriers. You may not have really been alone, pile number 2. You may have had other people in your life, but again, they felt like at a distance. It's like everything here feels distant. Nothing here feels centered. I think you're okay with being alone though, pile number 2. I think you're okay with, like, going on your own path. I think that's kind of like, in a way, what this all was supposed to do is help you embrace that you can just be on your own path and do whatever you want. Yeah, I'm really getting here. It's like you're, you know, these also could be you, like, walking in different steps, walking alone, kind of trusting that you'll come back to yourself. This is about trusting yourself and trusting your instincts, trusting your desires. I don't know if you trust your desires, pile number 2. And all paths lead home. Yo, this is where you're walking towards, is home. This is what this whole path has been about for you so far. I'm really getting pile number 2. I'm really getting pile number 2, and I think that's why this is so big for you, is that you're going through a huge life shift, and I think afterwards, you know, the lessons and the problems that you face, you know, there'll still be some remnants of what's happening before. I think overall, though, you're going into a new reality. And I think that for you, it's almost going to feel for a little bit like you've achieved what you set out to do on Earth. And I feel like you're still young, pile number 2, or you feel young, you know, if you're older and watching this reading. I think that you're going to have a boost of youthful energy from this. I think you, pile number 2, you're going home to yourself. I feel like you almost feel like you're there. You're almost at the portal. You're not quite there yet. You're still walking. I mean, in all of these, pile number 2, I mean, there's so many people walking around. It seems like you've just been searching for a long time. And the only thing you've kind of known how to do so far is hold other people's pain and help them heal. And you're like, you know what? I already did that for myself. I've done it for other people. It's time to do something different. And that's what you're doing. Okay, let's go to a different oracle. Pile number 2. Let's see here. Pile number 2. What was the purpose of their last connection? Leadership, set your goals. So I think, you know, you might have just been so involved in other people's drama and other people's shit that you weren't really able to take care of yourself. You weren't really able to go on your own path and set your own goals. And I think this was the purpose of your last connection, was to then be able to sit here and say, I'm gonna set my own goals. I'm gonna do my own thing. I don't really care about what this other person's going through. Not that you don't care. I feel like that's kind of the attitude you need to have, because I feel like people, whoever these people are, kind of suck you back in somehow. I think you still care. I think it's just kind of like, I don't care right now. Like, I care about your problems. It's setting healthy boundaries. I feel like that's kind of what's coming through here, is setting healthier boundaries. Confrontation, pick your battles wisely. Yes, what battles do you go into and what do you not? What is yours to carry and what is not? I feel like, you know, when you step into your new reality, that's still going to be a challenge for you, pile number 2s. In general, though, that's kind of what you've learned, is I think you know energetically that you're not supposed to hold everyone's pain now. I think that's what you know, and again, I think it's still going to be something you kind of dance with as you go forward. I think you have a better understanding, though, of what battles you do and do not need to go through, though. You don't need to go through a whole war. You know that. You don't need to go through battle after battle after battle for someone. What's the purpose of pile number 2's last connection? What's the purpose of this connection? Go with the flow and let things happen. This is like, I feel like this all just speaks for itself, pile number 2. I don't think I need to say anything else. Like, genuinely. Let go and go with the flow. Just be happy. Why is everything so serious? That's what I'm hearing. Like, I don't feel like life needs to be so serious, and I feel like your last relationships, things have just been so serious, and you're like, I don't need to do this anymore. Pile number 2, this is also my reading, so I totally feel you right now, and just like all of this. Choices, make the best choices. Again, with like picking your battles, making the best choices for you. That was the whole point of it. You might have had a lot of crown chakra activation from this. I feel like, again, this kind of like blood moon, like this is in your past. Like whatever this situation was, dynamic you went through, this is in your past. Now we're kind of going towards something different. We're looking towards other horizons. We're going to other places. Alright, let's get some tarot. Let's get some tarot. Alright, what was the purpose of pile number 2? That was really loud. Sorry. Let's see how that showed up on the actual audio. What was the purpose of pile number 2's last connection? What was the purpose of it? Ace of Wands. Yes, this is exactly it. It was like, how can I be less drained from relationships and life? How can I get that love and abundance and that spark for life? How can I get my fire energy back? I feel like your relationships have just been so freaking like draining for you, pile number 2s. They've been so draining. And this is 100% like, how can we just like not be so drained from relationships? Like how can they fulfill you? Pile number 2, that's a whole wild concept I think for you right now. How can relationships not only like not burdensome you, but how can they fill you up and how can they give you that creative spark? I feel like if you want to manifest love into your life, I think that might be a good place to start. Like if you're looking for new relationships, I don't know if you really are. I'm really getting that independent energy right now. I think, yes, but I am getting those 2 of Cups here. Ball number 2. So if you're thinking about kind of next love, like if this is something that you want, I think a message that's really coming through to you is like, how can they kind of think about the opposite of what you've been going through? Like how, what's been draining you, and do the opposite of that. Like how can they fill you up? Like imagine people filling you up. I mean, the 9 of Cups in reverse has just been really trying to show itself here. And I think you've been letting go of burdening yourself. You've been letting go of taking other people's pain. You've been letting go of putting all these cups on the outskirts for this, you know, black cat in the middle that's really draining you. You're letting go of that. What was the purpose of pile number 2's last connection? I think it was also supposed to show you like who you really want in a connection, what you really want. The person that you feel like would fill you up and add to your life rather than take away. Because I feel like before there might have been aspects of people, and also just like what society tells you to do, that you were following. Like you were like, okay, I have to have a boyfriend, I'm 25, like whatever, have to have children. It's almost like you were following a lack mentality. You were following something that was set out for you. I feel like you were just going with emotions, but not in a way that was like empowering. Now you're letting the abundance flow. Before, I feel like you weren't really taking charge in your love life. You were just like, I'm with all these 2 people and they have all these problems. Okay, I guess I have to. And I think you're letting go of that. I think you're yes. What gives you so much hope, pile number 2's? I feel like this is what your next relationship, when you manifest it, like thinking about that, like what puts the light in your life? What gives you hope? What kind of person would that be? Dream big. Dream big. Queen of Cups in reverse. And I think that, you know, another point of this is not looking at people who put the star in reverse, not looking at people who drain you. Like, how can they actually add to your emotional stability? How can they make you feel more creative? How can they make you feel, how can they help you in hard times? How can that be a give and take and a balance? I feel like balance here in general is something you're still learning, pile number 2's, in relationships. I feel like you're learning how to balance, you know, when do I take care of myself and when do I go and help them? I feel like you're a helper, pile number 2's. I feel like you care about people, and you do. I don't think you mind holding the darkness sometimes. Sometimes maybe we do need to hold some people's darkness in order to help them, and I think you're okay with that. I just think that you have attractive relationships in your life where that's been the whole dynamic, is you holding that darkness instead of it being like, you know, a day or an hour, you know, a conversation. It's been the whole thing. And, you know, there's a message also coming through here that like you holding the darkness sometimes for people is not a bad thing. You can do that, and it can be in a healthy way. It's like when you go to a new connection and this is the dynamic that's starting out right in the beginning, you know that's a red flag. You know that that's not good for you. Just know that if you are holding people's darkness, that's not a bad thing. It's just kind of like, are they relying on you? I think that's when it becomes a problem, pile number 2. So it's when they start relying on you. What was the purpose of pile number 2's last connection? Yes, making better choices. Again, with this choices, 2 of Swords, it's not choosing these, it's not choosing that. I feel like it kind of still feels confusing to you, pile number 2's. And again, at the same time, I feel like you have a better idea. I mean, you're getting better at these choices. Yes, it was to not be so sad about connections. I feel like the connections you've had, pal number 2, they might have really hurt you. They might have made you feel like you just can't be in connections anymore. You're like, people are just like hurting me left and right. I don't think that was the purpose. I think the purpose was to try to find people who do add to your life. Oh, pal number 2, I feel you so hard right now because that's exactly where I'm at. I really felt like in my last connection that I went through, I was like, is that even worth it trying to be friends with people anymore, have connections? And Spirit is saying this wasn't the purpose. The purpose was to find people that make your sun go up. Purpose that give you joy. Horses might be significant to you. There's horses in both of these cards. Riding the horse, I feel like this again was to have you in the front seat here. You making the decisions of people who give back to you. Ooh, yes, and making the choices that don't put your world in reverse. Yes. Making choices that don't dishearten you, that make you feel pain, make you feel lack. That was on the bottom of the deck, by the way, like after 2 of Swords. And the Devil, ooh, is this actually, wait, is this in reverse? I'm getting this is in reverse, so yes, this is again letting go of, you know, this. This is letting go of this. Letting go of the offers that seem appealing to you and you know are not. The charismatic people. The people who are just kind of getting to you to hold. I feel like for you, pal number 2, you might have been in some connections where people have just tried to like be with you so you can therapy them. And I think you are kind of recognizing that. And I don't think that doesn't mean there wasn't love there. I think it just means that that was the dynamic that kind of was the foundation of these connections. And you're like, I don't want that anymore. I want to choose something different. At the heart of your reading, you're choosing a different reality, pal number 2, as you're leveling up. And you're going to start choosing connections. If you take these lessons, right? These lessons were the purpose of all of this was to try to get you to be more in the front seat of your life, to choose connections and dynamics that were in your highest and greatest good, that made you happy, that filled you up, instead of people who keep taking from your great and wonderful energy that you bring to life. All right, pal number 2, that was the whole dealio. Make some choices that are in your highest and greatest good and that feel good from your soul, that are from your soul and not from a lack mentality, from the abundance matrix rather than the lack matrix. So that's everything. I'm going to leave your reading. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so appreciative that you came and watched my reading today. Thank you so much. Feel free to give this video a like. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want, or get a personal reading from me. The way to do that is in the description box below. Feel free to email me and we can chat about prices and such. Alright, my wonderful friends, I'm sending you so much love and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Hello, my lovely friends. How are we doing? This is for everyone who chose... Okay, I think this is called the Dusty Rose. I think. Oh my god, I used to know. That's kind of like a funny name though, is the Dusty Rose. I feel like I might have made it up, but it'll be in the description box. You can see it. It's for everyone who chose this stone. It kind of looks like a tumbleweed. To be honest. I don't know, everyone. I don't know. Where am I putting you? Alright, friends. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so grateful that you're here choosing my video to watch. I have all the videos on YouTube, so thank you so much for that. Today we are looking at what was the purpose of this connection. I felt really called just to go straight into the Starseed Oracle. I usually start with Tarot. But we're gonna start. What was the purpose of your last connection? This also can be current time. So you could be going through this currently. But I'm going to be using past tense in case, you know, you just ended a cycle with someone. The void. Stop, embrace winter and the cosmic wound. I really am getting that kind of energy with you, pal number 1. I don't know if you just like to go fast in life. I don't know if you have a tendency to do more than you should in life. And I say that should intentionally. I feel like you might be pushing your boundaries a little bit. Let's see what this is. Empathic Starseed, energetic sovereignty, and absorbing what's not yours. I'm getting for you, my pal number 3s. You might be a little disgusted of how you look when you look in the mirror. I'm just hearing like stop. I'm hearing like stop and take a look at yourself. So you might be someone who spends a lot of time trying to connect with others, trying to feel into their energy and really try to heal them. I'm feeling like you, my pal number 3s, are very healing and helping people. I'm feeling like divine feminine, like gentle divine feminine energy from you, my pal number 3s. And with the void usually feels more empty to me. I feel like you bring a lot of space into places. What am I saying? You bring a lot of life into places. You bring that healing, that feminine, loving energy into places. And I think this connection was kind of in a way pushing you to get back to that a bit. To kind of stop giving to others and receiving for yourself. What was the purpose of pal number 3's last connection? What was the purpose, Spirit? Thank you. The cosmic serving, Mars energy, anger, conflict, and softening to love. That's what I really want to focus on, softening to love. I feel like this sort of feminine pink energy that you exude is kind of natural to my pile number 3s. And it's kind of like this connection was supposed to bring you closer to that. So even though it naturally comes off of you, I also feel like, you know, it was sort of like a gift you received when you incarnated. It's not something that you channel, like, outright by pile number 3s. It's kind of like it just exudes off of you. And what I'm feeling, pile number 3, kind of what's coming through is that the purpose of, you might even still be in this connection with your previous person. It doesn't feel like someone you had a lot of conflict with. Okay, for some of you, it actually might be someone that you had some conflict with. For others of you, I feel like I need to go into tarot for this, because this is like a lot what's coming through. I'm getting like, there was a lot of love in this connection, and there might have been some conflict, as there is with every relationship, right? So I'm wondering what that's all about. So I'm going to go into tarot eventually and get some more into that. I am getting, though, with this, I almost feel like your partner was very loving towards you and you were a little confused. I feel like you were a little confused that you weren't giving more and you weren't the one nurturing this person. So I think that, you know, especially with the void here, it was kind of you learning how to just literally stop doing that to give back to yourself so you can do the great service in a different way. I'm feeling like, again, you're a very empathic person, very much starseed energy coming through here. I think in general it's like the universe was trying to push you to, instead focusing on your relationship and trying to heal them, healing yourself and therefore healing the world in a different way. I feel like that's kind of why you're here, pile number 3s, is that you incarnated to help heal the world with your motherly, you know, nature, I'm really getting a lot of pink here, that's coming through, especially like, basically the energy you get from this card. This is like the energy that's coming through for you, my pile number 3s. Can you focus a little bit more? Thank you. And I'm just getting here, it was like, this, I feel like this sort of energy in this mirror here, it was supposed to help you get into that more. This is already your reality. I feel like who you are is, like, again, very grounded in this pink, loving, nurturing energy. And this was kind of more getting you in touch with your starseed energy a little bit. Almost like, how do we harness this? How do we harness this energy into something different? How do we channel it into the 3D more, rather than just naturally exuding it? Alright, I am feeling like now we are supposed to go into these. Let's do it. What was the purpose of pile number 3's last connection? What was the purpose of pile number 3's last connection, Spirit? The Dusty Rose. I'm still laughing about that. I have no idea if it's true. We're gonna have to see. What was the purpose of pile number 3's last connection, Spirit? Originality. Blaze your own trail. Again, it was sort of supposed to bring you closer to yourself in a way of, like, harnessing joy. For pile number 2, it was also about getting closer to themselves, but it was more in a way of their soul's energy. For this pile number 3, I'm really getting, like, look at this person and how they're dancing. I'm really getting that with this card. This purpose of your last connection was to help get you more in touch with joy and more in touch with your divine feminine nature. And not your divine feminine nature in terms of healing your partners, but in terms of healing yourself, in terms of bringing the attention back to yourself in your own world. Yeah, blazing your own trail and being original for yourself. What I really love about this deck is this sort of, like, energy that comes out of these hands. And for me, when that shows up, it's kind of putting this energy back into your own life in a way and creating it in your own world. So it just feels to me, my pile number 2, 3, I always do that. I'm like pile 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 4 groups too. For me, it really just feels like the purpose of your last connection was to help you get in touch with your divine feminine. Help you get in touch more with a nurturing nature, but a nurturing nature that's not for someone else, for yourself. Opportunity knocks, go for it. And I feel like, again, kind of like what we discussed, this is going to help you in your path forward for the world. This is going to help you be of service to others when you channel this energy into yourself. Channel this energy in a different way. This might give you some ideas of, like, once you learn how to channel it for yourself, then you can show others how to do that as well. I'm also hearing, my pile number 3s, that you might be helping in the future a lot of divine masculines get in touch with their feminine side. It's almost like you're bringing together this life experience that you have of helping so many other divine masculines get in touch with that energy. I think that was kind of like the karmic pattern. Now once you learn how to channel this for yourself, you're then going to teach other divine masculines how to also channel it. But it's almost like it's not going to be in your relationships. You're not doing it for free. You're gonna get paid for it, or you're gonna exchange energy for it. Is kind of what I'm seeing here, pile number 3s. And even if that's not exactly what you do, what I'm getting here is this energy, once you are kind of more centered and aligned within yourself, it's going to help you with your path forward. I'm really getting practical here, like career energy. So whatever this is, it's going to help you with your career and your path of service. Because I feel like you do really want to be of service. I feel like the way you're doing it right now might be a little draining to you. Epiphany, see clarity, yes. It's going to make things much more clear to you once you go through channeling this energy for yourself. I feel like the purpose of your last connection was to make you more aware of it, or to kind of take the first steps into cultivating the nurturing, divine feminine energy within yourself. And once you kind of master that, then things are going to become much more clear for you. I'm getting one more. And choices, make the best choices. Exactly. It seems like you're just going to be so much more clear on what you're supposed to do going forward. So it seems like you're going to be a lot more clear on the choices you need to make once you master this. So now I want to go into tarot. And I didn't do this for the other groups, but I really want to look into your relationship. I'm getting that was important, that the dynamic of this relationship was imperative. So we're going to look a little bit more into that. Wait, I just switched my my battery, and I just love, like, when I do that, I have to go into a different room and, like, charge this. So I, like, sometimes will just continue getting messages like while that happens, and then I'm like, oh god, now I have to, like, record this and say it. Let's hope I remember. So what I'm getting with your relationship pile number 3 is right off the bat is some of you are still with this person. Some of you are still in this kind of relationship. What I'm getting is this person was kind of like supporting you and telling you to focus more on yourself, to become more of this Queen of Wands, to become more sure of yourself, more determined in yourself. I really feel like this person, I'm getting that this was a divine masculine, really wanted to support you. They didn't want you to focus all on them. And I'm going to speak in past tense. Alright, I've seen 111 and I literally saw 1111 on my last time that I was recording for your group too. So, synchronicities with ones for sure, new beginnings. I'm getting that your person was very supportive of you, and I'm also getting this sort of like anger pile number 3s. I'm getting that there was some sort of unhealthy pattern that's going on here. Yes, that would bring you out of balance, that would bring you to be emotionally unstable. It's like this person, really wanted to support you, and I feel like because that they were supporting you, you were like, oh, this is a different type of relationship. Like, it's just that because of what they were dealing with, it seems like they had some, like, anger problems or, like, self-worth problems. They felt worthless and they took it out on others. It doesn't seem like they always took it out on you. For some of you, yes, they did. For others of you, it just feels more like this person was so angry at the world or angry at their experience. And it would rub off on you because, again, you're an empath. And I think that you stayed in this connection because you were like, all right, well, they're still better for me. They're still, like, better than my last connection, so, like, let me stay in that. I feel like for you, this felt like a very significant connection for those of you who are in polyamorous relationships, and if you're still with this person, they just feel like someone you spent a lot of time with, someone who was like your main squeeze, I'm hearing. Haha. Again, like when they were angry or when they lashed out, whatever they did that made you off balance, that was still to get you closer to yourself. It was to take the energy. Yes, you had a choice and you might have been very confused by it because this person might have been like, I'm angry, don't pay attention to me. And in your nature, you were like, I need to pay attention. Like, I need to help you. And at these times, I think that this is like a double-edged sword here almost. Because this was a hard experience for you to go through in terms of, you know, you wanted to help this person and they were saying, no, I don't want to help you. And that was pushing you closer to yourself. In the same vein, it's like this person's actions and how they acted towards you put you off balance. So it was kind of like, yeah. And, you know, this might have cultivated into something where you were like, yo, this is really cool, but I need to go. Like, you've helped me a lot. I just, this isn't working. This person might have lashed out in a big way. This person might have turned it onto you one day, really got angry at you. I'm not getting this person was manipulative, but I think that they, either consciously or unconsciously, you knew that they were helping you with this pattern and they were kind of justifying their actions, and they might have even tried to justify it to you, like, I've helped you so much, like, why are you leaving me? Yeah, you could have felt trapped, my pile number 3 is. This person could have felt like they were trying to trap you or trying to guilt you into staying. I'm really getting abandonment here. They really didn't want you to leave. In some sort of way, they, you know, even though they kept telling you they didn't want your nurturing energy, they really loved it. It was very opposite of how they felt towards themselves. I'm just really getting a sad energy here with this Knight of Cups. They were not someone who's a king. They weren't really emotionally stable within themselves, even though they were encouraging you to do so and maybe coming off like they were. I feel like they were, you know, charming, and they were, you know, loving towards you. It just didn't feel like they had the maturity that you were looking for. It didn't feel like they had, you know, the stability that you were looking for. And now I understand why we needed to look into this, because how this all unfolded was still in service of your connection. It was in service of the pattern and the purpose of why you went through this, which was to get more in touch with yourself. The person's, you know, telling you to look more into yourself, and these person's actions of anger, or, you know, for some of you it might have been they got intoxicated and then lashed out when they weren't intoxicated, and they drank a lot or they used substances a lot because they couldn't cope with their own experience. Yeah, I'm just really getting this like youthful energy, but they also could have been older than you. They were trying to portray to you that they were more mature than what they actually are. And this person is mature in some ways, and in others, they still have a lot to learn. Yeah, and this is about you breaking free of this like illusion that you need to stay, from this guilt perhaps that this person was trying to put on you. It's really interesting. It's like they're telling you to go towards yourself, and they're guilting you for going towards yourself and putting energy into yourself. So it's almost like, in a way, they were trying to push you away and then pull you back. And, you know, whether or not you're still in this kind of dynamic, kind of what I'm getting here is that you're at a place, or you're going to be at a place soon, where you're like, I need to just leave. I need to get out. I need to put more energy into myself and let you go. I don't think that for all of you that means that you're ending the relationship. I think that for all of you it means you're taking space and putting more energy into yourself. For some of you, you are leaving. You're saying no to the connection. You're saying this is a toxic pattern and you're not working on it. For others of you, I think you're still going to continue to work on it with this person, but at a distance. It's going to be more, you know, especially if you're poly, I think it's gonna be more like you work on your shit and I see you once a month until you like have figured out your shit. You know what I mean? I still love you and care about you. I think that even if you go that route, for a lot of you, you might still end up leaving this person because they might not change. And yes, ooh, Page of Swords. Someone or this person might come back to you with that offer and you'll be like, no. I already know. I was getting for your group to go into the Ocean Dreams oracles. Maybe that's how we're gonna end your reading today. Actually, I lied. I just decided I'm just gonna get like 1 or 2 cards. This isn't usually how I do this. But I want to get 2 cards from this. Put this away. And then go to this oracle. Okay. So, I don't know what I'm doing, but Spirit's telling me to do it. So we have Convergence. And we also have Beyond the Veil. So what this kind of tells me, my pile number 3s, is that you're supposed to go through a hard time to look beyond the illusions. You're supposed to go through a hard time to find the sweetness in life. I think that for a little bit, life might have felt empty. It might have felt like you were going through a lot of tough times and you were like, what the heck? Like, where is the substance? I'm almost getting that for you, my lovely pile number 3s, is that this is the same place. Before, this is what you were getting out of life. A lot of, it looked good. There's a lot of this pink energy here. There's a lot of greatness. It just also feels like there could be a lot more. And now this is kind of what Spirit's pushing you towards, is to put this sort of greenery and energy and difference and all that kind of stuff into your life. That's what I'm getting with that. What was the purpose of pile number 3's last connection? Morning, the world awaits you. Pile number 2, I think, also got this card, or pile number 1? Gray, endings are inevitable. Yes, if you had to walk away from this connection, or you were thinking about walking away from this connection, this was kind of supposed to show you that even when you do, even when the morning looks gray, look again with all these colors here. Look again with, you're looking at the horizon. I feel like it was supposed to show you that there's still more to life, even when things end, that better things can come, even when, you start a new beginning and things don't look very good. This card keeps getting shown to me, and this to me is a card of coming home to yourself. So this was, again, you coming home to yourself. And then Voyage, you already have all the answers. There's a lot here about travel, my pile number 3s. I think this relationship was supposed to teach you to travel, away from things that don't serve you and into dynamics and things that serve you a lot more than this. It was supposed to show you how to leave your situation and actually put the energy on yourself. I feel like your person was trying to tell you to do that. It was almost like, put energy into yourself, but don't do it if it's gonna cost what I want you to do. So, my cat's being so cute right now. She likes when I talk, so she's like wagging her tail and she's like getting all comfy. Okay, sorry. That had nothing to do with your reading. Now you know. One more, or 2 more apparently. It's time for healing, not war. And again, oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, okay. So at the bottom of the deck here, we have confidence. It comes with time and practice, and I feel like that really speaks for itself. And we also have here, it's time for healing, not war, and swim away from the situation. I'm really getting here, my pile number 3s, that you are meant to leave the situation. You're meant to put distance between you and this other person. It was a time for you to choose yourself and choose healing and not war. Healing and not staying in a dynamic doesn't work for you. It was supposed to help you, teach you more about confidence and trusting yourself. And you might not be trusting. This sunset might be what you're seeing, and this, might be on the horizon, all these colors and wonderful experiences. But when you make these decisions, it really might feel like where you're traveling to is not what you feel like you're going at the moment. Where you're going and the destinations that you're going to be, going to and journeys you're going to be embarking on, I think you feel like they have a flavor of goodness, of adventurous, of, that they just serve you better. But you're still like, is it though? Like, is it actually going to be good for me? And again, this was supposed to teach you to be more confident in your decision making and your feelings that I'm going to leave the situation, it's going to be good for me. Alright, pile number 3s, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to book a personal reading for me, feel free to check out the description box below. Other than that, please subscribe and like. We do some videos on this channel that are tarot readings. That, we're just going to be doing a lot of things on this channel. But tarot readings are definitely something that's going to keep going. So if you want to stick around for more videos, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you on the next one. Alright, I love you so much, pile number 3. Sending you so much love. Mwah! Alright, hello lovely people. This is for everyone who chose this. I don't know what this is called. Okay, I'm sorry. I used to know my stones. I feel like I should just stop using stones and be like just do cards. Like, this is the stone, this is the card. Okay, this has nothing to do with your reading. What are we here for today? We are here for what is the purpose of your connection. Pile number 4, I'm already getting that you might be going through it right now. What I love about the last piles of, you know, doing these pick a cards is that the last group is always oddly specific. And I don't know, I just like channeling those energies. I like getting specific and into the nitty gritty, to the meat, to the and potatoes, as they say. I'm really getting some just like self-sabotagey behaviors already in my pile number 4s. We'll see what that means. What was the purpose of pile number 4s? Oh my gosh, what is happening? Last connection. Every single group has been getting this card, but in like different ways. This is the void. The internal void. In the Rose Oracle, it's the fertile void. Why am I so all over the place, pile number 4s? Are you just all over the place? Is that how your mind works? Because I just feel very scatterbrained right now. That's not how I felt 5 minutes ago when I did pile number 3. Soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. Lost lands. I feel like one of the purposes of your last connection was to kind of, this has also been the theme, but in different ways for all the groups, is getting more in touch with yourself. But I feel like for you, specifically with pile number 4s, it was supposed to elevate you. Like, you've already gone through this cycle in previous lifetimes, I feel like. And in previous lifetimes, you might not have mastered this yet. You might not have mastered whatever you were supposed to learn. I'm sure what you were supposed to learn from this connection will come through as we unfold this. What I'm really getting with the lost lands here is that this, like, there's a thought around spiritual healing and our soul's growth, right? So when you're an older soul and you've reincarnated on this plane of existence multiple times, or I would say even other planes of existence, learning through these karmic cycles, when you reincarnate in this lifetime, you kind of have to play catch up a little bit earlier in your life, or even at different points of your life, you have to play catch up. And you have to kind of relearn the, you know, lessons that you learned in a previous lifetime, so you can kind of like get up to speed with this lifetime and learn what you kind of set out to do. And I feel like that was the purpose of your last connection, was to get caught up to speed, to get to where you're meant to be so you can learn other lessons. I think that your soul really wanted to master, I feel like you were kind of on the brink in your last lifetime. I don't do like life regression. This is very interesting. This is coming through pile number 4. I get in your last lifetime that you were on the brink. Like, you were right at the brink of ending the cycle with love. I feel like you probably stay in connections a lot longer than you need to, and you kind of stagnate into these connections that are not good for you or the other person. And I think you were really, really close to leaving in the last lifetime, but you didn't for whatever reason, and you just stayed there. And what I'm hearing is one regret. So that was like your biggest regret in that lifetime. And now I feel like, you know, you're stopping this. You're stopping this cycle of staying in these stagnant connections in this lifetime. Yes, and your life is a canvas. You want to be doing different things in this lifetime. I feel like you don't want to be focusing on connections that really drain you in this lifetime. I feel like you want to do a lot more. Like adventuring, art. I'm just really getting more fulfilling activities, more joyous activities for you. I think that's what you want to be doing in this lifetime. I want one more. What was the purpose of pile number 4's last connection? Yes, the seas, Amintaka, seeing potential and bringing unconscious to light. I feel like you just want to see this world for a lot more than what it is and what other people see it as. I think you see this experience as something special. I think you see the human experience as something to be enjoyed and can be fulfilling. And I think that these connections in your past lifetimes have been so unfulfilling for you, pile number 4s, that you haven't been able to enjoy your life the way you want to. It's like you're enjoying your life and then you're like, dang it, I have my partner to go back to that I really don't like. Yes, and with You're Not Alone, I feel like what you really want to do in this lifetime is get community and connections in different ways. I feel like you want to connect with people like more intimately, and not just in a romantic way. I feel like you want friends that are, you know, really interested in you and you're interested in them and you love each other. I feel like you want connections like with other people. I'm hearing that you don't want connections to be heavy. You don't want connections to feel like a lot. You know, I think that for a little bit after this connection, you might date other people, but you're like, this is like not gonna be serious. Like, I really enjoy you and I'm serious about you, but I'm not really serious about making this my commitment. I'm not serious about making relationships my everything. I want them to really add to my life and be like kind of something I do on the side. And I really want my life and these other activities to be, you know, more of a focus for me. So I'm really getting you want other different types of connections, because these connections that you've been in might be at the forefront of, you know, your life. You might have really had to commit to these connections in your past lifetimes. Perhaps these people had chronic illnesses, perhaps, and this might have even shown up again in this lifetime. There's some sort of reason that sucks you in, that makes you need to stay. Like, they have nowhere else to go, or they're broke, or whatever it is. Pile number 4, what's very interesting too is that I never keep cards out like this, but I'm being told to do that for your group. So let's see what that means. I'm sure it'll come through eventually. Pile number 4, what was the purpose of your last connection? Invite serendipity. I really feel like pile number 4, you just want to like do things. You just want to do fun things. Like, I feel like you just want to do and like fuck around and see this and that. And I feel like you want partners that are kind of into the same thing, or okay with you doing that. Okay with you kind of fucking off for a weekend and doing some random thing that you want to do. I feel like you haven't been able to give this human experience a chance yet in a way that's not kind of saddening to you, that's heavy. I feel like you are almost like going into a new cycle of like experiencing the world for the first time. It's almost like you're being rebirthed into this world because you're looking at it through a different lens. You're no longer thinking, oh God, I have to do X, Y, and Z for this person or they're gonna die, or I'm gonna be sad, or they're gonna be homeless. It's like you are now looking at this through, how can I change my experience? And if you're not here yet, this is the purpose of your last connection, was to kind of go more towards this. You know, how can I create more meaningful experiences in this lifetime? And I'm feeling that for some of you, what you're in right now is you're in this time where you may have left this connection or are about to leave this connection, and you're not very happy about it. You're kind of feeling sick even because of it, because maybe you really were attached to this person. Maybe you really liked this person. If you're poly, then maybe people are polycule. And I feel like it is a big life shift for you. I mean, you're shifting conscious right now. You're shifting realities, basically. You've been going through this cycle for maybe, you know, more than one lifetime, and now you're at this place where you're going to be doing something different. So it's a huge shift for you, pile number 4. And you may be at a place right now where you're feeling very low, feeling very down. And eventually, I think you're going to get to this serendipitous place. You're going to get to this place where you see the world as like an adventure, where you see the world as something to be explored. You're like, oh my gosh, I've never tasted this dish before. Let me like really savor this, because I might never eat this again. Or I'm hanging out with this person for a day in this random city and this random town, this random event, and I might never talk to them again. So I'm just really gonna enjoy the dynamic that me and this person have, and then I'm gonna move on to the next thing. Intuition, trust your intuition. Yes, I think that you have urges and activations that you want to be doing X, Y, and Z, and you don't really know why. And that's because this is just what your soul really wanted to do in this lifetime. This is what, like, the experience you wanted to have was through travel or spontaneity, serendipity. And this might be very different than how you've lived your life before. this might be very different than how you lived your life before. You might have lived it kind of rigid, kind of stagnant, and you just really want to change it up. And you're like, why do I want to change it up so bad? And it's because that's what your soul really wanted to do in this lifetime, is that your soul wanted to be more spontaneous. I can't really say that word. Your soul wanted to be more spontaneous. Yes, and face your fears. You might be like more fearful of this reality than you let on to yourself internally. I think you almost want to run away from these experiences. I think you almost want to run away from, you know, the good things, go back into the stagnation, because that's what feels comfortable to you. And pile number 4s, that's kind of what you're learning in this lifetime, is to release what you've been doing for multiple lifetimes, for multiple cycles in this lifetime even, and to go into something different. It feels like you're going in blind though. It feels like you're going to this reality and you're like, what? Yes, and then again so we have intuition here, trust your intuition, and we have owl, which is follow your intuition. So this is supposed to show you, pile number 4, is to trust your intuition. This connection was supposed to show you to follow your inner guidance, to follow that thread of joy, that thread of fulfillment to the end, whatever that means for you. All right, I'm getting to leave this here. I think that for the rest of, I mean, no one's lifetime's perfect, pile number 4s. That's not really how this experience works. What I am getting for you, you know, with this new cycle that you could be embarking on, is that it could be extremely fulfilling for you and very adventurous and spontaneous and exciting. I feel like you still want to reject it though. You still want to reject this epiphany, reject your intuition that's telling you to do this. And I think a part of you wants to go back to the stagnation. What was the purpose of pile number 4's last connection? Again, with the Wheel of Fortune, to change up your patterns, change up your life, to turn the wheel for you in this experience in a different way. What was the purpose of pile number 4's last connection, Spirit? What was the purpose of pile number 4's last connection? Death in reverse. They're not really, I mean, I think that for you, pile number 4s, for some reason, stagnation is very comforting. It's where you want to be. It's like, I feel like the part of you that, there's a part of you that's almost like, I just want to grow old on a bench with someone and just like live my life in a routine and then die. It's like, a part of you almost wants to go from like, you know, like, I feel like it feels safe to you. I don't know why, and spirits tell me that doesn't really matter. We could go into it, but spirits telling me that's like not the point of this reading. There's a part of you that wants to grow old with someone, even if you don't like them, and for some of you, it even feels more comforting if you don't like them, because you don't have to put energy into it. You know, go through the same routine every single day for years and years and years, and then die. And I don't know why, but that feels comforting to you, pile number 4s. And spirit and your soul really wants to break that routine in this lifetime. It really wants to do something different, and you don't want to do that. I think a part of you does, and a part of you is also like, oh, why can't I just like do this? And this, you know, I think that your connections, pile number 4, in this lifetime are going to keep pushing you to turn the wheel. They're going to keep pushing you to go through a different cycle, a different experience in this lifetime, because yes, you want to feel more fulfilled. You want to feel more excited by life. You want to feel like your needs are met in all ways, sexually, emotionally, mentally, physically, you know, abundance-wise, like, that's what you want. And I think that this gets you there. You're turning this wheel into following your intuition, following your inner guidance. I'm getting Brene Brown's research. So Brene Brown is a shame researcher, storyteller. And she talks about how vulnerability can be the scariest thing on this earth and also the most rewarding. And for you, my pile number 4s, I feel like going through this cycle is very vulnerable for you. It's very scary. You know, and the universe, it rewards bravery. I'm really getting that for you. This is such a scary thing for you to do. We got face your fears here. This is a very fearful endeavor for you to try and do something different in this lifetime, to try and break out of this pattern. And What I'm getting is that you can do it. You know, you can walk away from constantly being heartbroken and constantly being stagnant and, you know, dissatisfied with your life, unsatisfied. I never know which one it is. I think it's unsatisfied. Or you can choose to keep going back into it, keep going into the stagnation. I feel like the choice in this lifetime really is yours. It's what your soul wants. It's just not... You don't have to go that route if you don't want to. That's about free will. That's what this whole experience is also about. I think if you do face your fears, you're gonna feel so much better in this lifetime, pile number 4s eventually. I think it's like so fearful, but again, the universe rewards bravery. The universe rewards you when you're vulnerable. That's how you get the real shit in life, is when you're vulnerable. When you tell someone how you feel and they respond to you in a way that's really helpful and really what you need to hear, and you know, it helps you grow closer. And I feel like you haven't had that experience in this lifetime yet, pile number 4s. You haven't had connections that are fulfilling for you, and that's what you want, and that's what you can get. Yes, there's a lot of pentacles here. There's a lot of stable energy that keeps coming up when you're reading. You got the 9 of Pentacles, and now you got the 8 of Pentacles. So I think that this, my pile number 4s, is not as hard as you think it is. I think that after you initially face your fears, this actually isn't going to be that hard for you. I think that, you know, again, life's a journey and you go back and forth. So you might still have that fear from time to time, like, oh my god, this is really unstable. Is my life okay? I mean, maybe I just need to go back in and just like do nothing and blah, blah, blah. I think the more you keep working at it, the more you'll put these pentacles into place, the more you'll plant the seeds and make the decisions that you want to make, and it'll work out. I'm hearing trust the universe. Trust the universe to support you, because your soul literally wants this so bad. And pile number 4, the universe is going to support you through it. Yes, the universe is telling you to go for it. Negative ones are telling you to go straight in. Alright, we're going to end your reading with a few Ocean Dream Oracle cards, as well as Believe in Your Own Magic by Amanda Lovelace. All the decks are down below if you want. Oh my god, so much is happening. No regrets. Yo, can we be real? Step through the portal, pile number 4s. What was the beginning? No, that was a different group. Pile number 4, step through the portal. Pile number 4, have no regrets of the choices that you're making. That regret and that shame, I'm getting more guilt for you actually. That guilt that you have around the choices that you make is going to hold you back. And your soul and your spirit team is like, have no regrets with this. And the calling, you're really being called to do this. You're really being called to live a certain type of lifestyle, a certain type of way of living. You're being so called to do it. You feel it really deep down underneath all the ego and shame and programming in this lifetime. It's what you really want to do, and spirit is telling you to go for it. Alright, this Believe in Your Own Magic by Amanda Lovelace is kind of the perfect way to end your reading. I think it's like the perfect oracle deck for you right now. So let's get some messages with pile number 4. Spirit, what was the purpose of pile number 4's last connection? Your reading went so deep, pile number 4. Like way past. What I'm really getting is that this cycle could be the last one with your last person, right? This reading was like not even about the connection. I feel I just got so far from like a love reading. You, my pile number 4s, that your last relationship, your last connection can be the last time you ever have to deal with stagnation, with unsatisfaction, with being, you know, angry at yourself in your life. That can be the last time you do it. You know, you can choose something else, and Spirit is saying, have the confidence to do that. Have the confidence to choose something different, you know? That's what this is teaching you, to be confident in your own intuition and in your own... I'm getting that your family might be very disappointed in these decisions that you're making. And honestly, the world is your oyster, and the universe is trying to give you the reality you want to live. And I think, you know, what Spirit is inviting me to tell you right now is like, do these opinions really matter? Is it their life? Do these connections that are telling you to this, are they you? You know, do they really matter to you even? For some of you who don't have a good relationship with your family or the connections that are judging you for this. And if you do, you're gonna get gifted everything you've ever wanted. Justice is coming. So what I'm getting with this witch card is you packing up your shit and leaving. And when you leave, that's when the justice happens. When you change your environment, when you change the decisions that you keep making day in and day out, that's when the justice comes to you. You're going to keep feeling like you're in, you know, there's an injustice that keeps happening to you. When you stay in this pattern, when you keep staying in these cycles and wings, this is the perfect card to end your reading. You never needed those wings to fly. You're flying out of the castle that you've been trapped in. You're flying out of the reality that you keep creating for yourself over and over and over in all these lifetimes, and you're flying out of it. And you literally don't need anyone, pile number 4. For some of you, you might be traveling with another person initially. You might be getting some support from someone, is what I'm feeling. Overall, you can say fuck it all and leave. Like, and the universe is gonna support you. I think what I'm also getting here is don't take this reading and then, like, I don't know, go book a plane ticket. Like, and then not plan any of it out. I am getting here that some sort of planning, some sort of advice, you know, research is important here. But you can fly off into the reality that you really want in this lifetime. Your potential is literally endless, and Spirit wants to have so many different experiences through you in this lifetime, and you're going to be able to do that. You can be each and every single one of these people in different points of your life. Spirit, the type of lifestyle that I'm just getting for you is like, you just spend like a year in some place in a witch convent, and you're like, okay, I'm good now, I'm gonna go fuck off to another country and then do some other random thing for a year. Like, that's like, Spirit wants you to do that. And no, it's not grounded, and no, it is kind of unstable. And yes, it's what you want and what you can do in this lifetime. Pile number 4, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for being here in this reading. I feel like I'm really trying to gas you up here. It's because you're a wonderful human being, and I'm kind of envious of your situation. Not the experience I'm having in this lifetime, but not to like say your experience is all sunshine and rainbows. It seems like, you know, going this route is really hard for you. So I'm sending you so much love on your journey. I'm sending you all the courage and vulnerability that you need in order to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. If you want to book a personal reading for me, my email is in the description box below, so feel free to do that. Otherwise, subscribe to my channel. We like to do lots of different content on this channel, but tarot readings are definitely something to stay. So subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. I love you so much, pile number 4s. Mwah.